Why is this game force PvP? I'm fed up with being killed by other players when I've spent 2 hours hoarding loot. When are friendly servers coming? Hey, you beautiful buccaneers, Falcore here. They're not. And here's why. For the purposes of this video, I'm not going to go into the moral side of why PvE servers will never work. We have heard this argument 1,000 times before, and it never gets anywhere, even after the developers have exclusively said it is never happening. So for argument's sake, let's just say PvE servers were added to Sea of Thieves. A kind of mecca where PvP has been stripped from the game. No longer can you kill or sink people. The world is peaceful, and you can go about your business without ever having to worry about people ruining your game session. That should fix it, right?
Wrong.
You see, there's one problem. People are people. If you think having a PvE server would fix the harassment and the general foolery that ensues, you'd be very wrong indeed. It's not as easy as merely switching off PvP and then launching the server and the world would rejoice. Well, actually it would be kind of a small crowd. Well, not even a crowd, but more like this. A lot of things would have to change about the game core mechanics in order for this to work. Scenario 1. You're just about to leave for your day on Sea of Thieves in your brand new PvE server. But wait, this has now been made impossible because 2 other player ships have completely blocked you in, making it impossible to even leave the outpost. Or you're just about to hand in your loot after a hard day's work, but here come some trolls blocking you off from handing anything in. Now, normally in this situation, you could just attempt to kill them, but no, PvP is turned off. This is your session ruined. And people would do this. Like I said before, people are people. So how would Rare fix this outcome? Well, simply by making player ships and players non-collidable, so you can just phase through them. Sounds simple, yes? No, it's really not. Something like this would mean stripping back the entire core game mechanics and building them back up to suit this purpose. Plus, you know, it would just look really stupid. Scenario 2. You just finished that fort. Your hard work is about to be paid off. But wait, here comes another ship with a larger crew. And here they are simply removing the loot from the vault whilst you stand there completely helpless to do anything. And again, people would do this. People are people. How would they fix that? Well, simple really. Just make it so whoever opens the vault can be the only one to interact with the loot. So that should fix it, right? But what would happen if you just volleyed cannonballs into that skeleton lord and then the other ship gets the last hit? That means they have the kill rights, the fort key, and all of the loot. And we're back to square one with you being helpless to do anything, and all the opposing crew did was fire 1 cannonball. Now, you could have a mechanic in place where whoever activates world events is the sole proprietor of the world event, and nobody else can take part, but that would be totally unfair, and let's face it, all world events would be camped on a regular basis on PvE servers because of this meta, which means you would spend countless hours server hopping just trying to find yourself a free world event. Good luck getting those commendations done. Oh, and forget doing the Fort of the Damned, because you need a pink light for that. You need to be killed by a player for that. And that's not happening on a PvE server, you silly sandwich. Now, you could perhaps ask the ship for an alliance. I mean, after all, you are on a friendly server. But here's the thing. You all know what I'm gonna say. People are people. And people are greedy. The interaction would mostly go like this. Hey yourself. You want to do that fort together?
What's your name?
My name's Falcore.
Hey, Falcore.
Yeah?
F you.
And once again, there is nothing you could do about it. Now, the argument for this is often, I have been on Alliance servers, and this never happens. But an Alliance server is a group of like-minded people, all pushing toward a certain goal. PvE servers would be a bunch of strangers all doing their own thing. It would be a completely different and very antisocial environment. You see, the problem lies not with the game, but the players who inhabit the game. If you add a PVE server to the game, people would still find a way around the mechanics put in place to protect people, and exploit them to their advantage. You'd still have terrible encounters, you'd still have loot stolen, and you'd still have to deal with the occasional mouthy European teenager saying that he slept with your mother. People are people. The next argument is people asking solely for co-op servers, where they can just chill with their crew and have a good time by themselves. So essentially people are asking for dedicated servers. But here's the thing, servers cost money, and they cost a lot of money, especially in a game like Sea of Thieves that runs off a funny little beast called a Hive network. I'll explain more about that in a second, but the point I'm making is, if co-op dedicated servers were to exist, they'd have to be a paid-for service. Which then comes with a tidal wave of offended social justice warriors. I have to pay to play the way that I want, this is criminal! And of course, the most commonly used battle cry of the gaming world,
This is pay to win!
So this is simply never going to happen. So people often ask, why can I not just host my own server? Games like GTA Online do it, Call of Duty, and several other games, so why can I not just do this in Sea of Thieves? Well, Sea of Thieves is a bit of a feral beast when it comes to how the servers work. Now here's a super simple layman's term explanation, and I apologize to any server techs watching. Sea of Thieves servers are Hive servers, so let's explain how this works. This green area you see here is the server. It's void, it's boring, and nothing happens. Until that is, a player turns up, and around this player is a bubble that stretches out to the horizon. This bubble is the player's server space of activity. Anything beyond this bubble does not exist. As the player moves around, events, loot, enemies all pop into existence, until another player, enemy, or thing comes along, sharing its own server space. And when those two spaces collide, these two areas then merge and become the new server space. Now, multiply this scenario on your average play session with all entities that occur in your server space as you play, and you end up with quite a few server spaces. So unless you have a large room in your house filled to the brim with servers running 24/7, you cannot host a game of Sea of Thieves. So this isn't happening either. Now, I hope all these explanations will finally make people realize why it's futile to even consider PvE servers in this game, not even mentioning the moral ramifications of having a process such as this being present within Sea of Thieves. But probably not, because people are people.